Question number 3, determine the slope of the line represented in the graph below. So again, whenever we do slope, we're talking about rise over run. So we're going to go up and down and then sideways. And when we start, we need to start at our good dots. So again, what is a good dot? Well, in this case, they're giving you good dots. One's right here and one's right here. The good dots that we're calling go through the very corners of your squares. So whenever I rise, I'm going down 1, 2, 3. And remember that down is a negative. And then we would go over 1, 2. So we're going to the right 2. So your slope for this question is -3 over 2. Again, you start and you go 1, 2, 3 down and 1, 2 to the right. Number 4. A missile travels 14 kilometers in 4 seconds and 35 kilometers in 10 seconds. The graph of the function that represents the relationship is a straight line. What is the rate of change? Rate of change is just another way to say slope in kilometers per second at which the missile is traveling. So we have a couple numbers that go together. We have 14 kilometers in 4 seconds. And we have 35 kilometers in 10 seconds that go together. So what we can do is we can put these together in a table, X and Y. Just make our points. Whenever we do this, though, we need to make sure that they're in the right order. So we're going to go back and we're going to remember something from a while back. Doctor who? Doctor XY needs his ID to go in and out all the time. And remember, like we talked about, that most of the time variable will be your X. And here it is. Here's a second. So this 4 actually comes first in your X column. And then your 14 is talking about kilometers. And then we have 35 kilometers in 10 seconds. So we're going to put our 10 over here and our 35 over here. So we have our seconds and our kilometers. Now what do we do when we have a table? Well, when we have a table, we can go type it in. So we're going to get on our Desmos, and I'm just going to hide what we had before and get a new line. And remember, to hide what you have before, you just tap on the circles and it'll go away. That way, if I need to go back and check myself, I have work and I can just go tap on it and it'll show again. So how do we add a table? So remembering how to add a table, we're going to press the plus sign in this top left corner. We're going to choose table. And notice at the top it says X1 and Y1. So we're going to type in 4 and then 10. Those are my X values. What goes with the 4? 4 goes with 14. And then 35 goes next to the 10. And right now you can't see that because those dots are all the way up at 14 and 35. So you can change your screen if you want to see those dots. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put a line through them. It says that it makes a straight line. So we're going to put a line through them. So this is where we have to ask Desmos to make a line for us. So our formula is y equals mx plus b. But whenever I ask Desmos to do a formula for me, we have to change this up a little bit. The y's are talking about this over here, so it's going to be y1. And we need to make sure that the table matches what we're going to type. And then we're not going to use an equal sign because as we get further into this unit, we're going to see that the line doesn't go through every single dot every time when we have real life data. So we're going to use the similar symbol, and then we're going to do mx, but our x value is talking about these. So we need to put the little subscript of 1, and then we can use our plus b. So I'm going to go type this in to my Desmos, y1, and then we go to the alpha page to get our worm. We like to say y1 worm, and then we have mx1. Oh, that's not a 1. 1 plus b. There we go. And as you can see, it went through the dots. So that means this line that it's giving me down here is the one that is going through the 2 points that were given. So down at the bottom, we have all kinds of things happening, and so we need to know which letter stands for slope or rate of change, and that's going to be our m. And so your m variable equals 3.5. And that is your answer. On our multiple choice test, I'm not sure if it's going to be listed like this or if it will be listed as a fraction. If you have a bunch of fractions as your answer choices, you could type those in and see which ones match. This could also be written as 3.5, but most of the time in algebra we'll either do the terminating decimal, that means it stops, or it will be something more like 7/2 in your answer choices. And again, if you don't know what that means, you can go type it in. 7 divided by 2 is going to give you, oh, you can't see that, there we go, is that 3.5. So you could see it either way. This might be in your answer choices or it might be the decimal.